A Chronicle of Dragonfell by Halvar the Lawkeeper of Winterhold. Preface. Let this chronicle serve as a preservation of memory, for the land now called Dragonfell bears scars deeper than stone can show. What stands today as ruin and silence was once the thriving settlement of Eldersong, and beneath its shattered walls lies a sanctum older than any clan mark or carving. I have gathered these histories from surviving records, oral traditions, and my own journey into that grim place. If I have erred, let the divines correct me. If I have succeeded, may these pages grant future generations understanding of the fate that befell those who dared build in the shadow of the mountain. Chapter 1. The Land Before Men. Long before the raising of halls or the carving of runestones, the region was known by wandering tribes as Frostmere's End. It was a land where pine forests thinned into bare cliffs, where the sea carved the earth into jagged shelves, and where storms bred themselves against the face of a brooding mountain that dominated every horizon. Early tribes avoided the mountain entirely. They believed its summit a place claimed by spirits ancient beyond reckoning. Travelers left offerings of carved bone or drops of mead on stones at the mountain's base, and many swore that strange shapes moved against the clouds near its peak. Whether creature or shadow, none dared approach. The mountain was known as Skuldvarr, the fated peak. It had no origin tale, no saga of conquest. It simply existed, silent, immovable, and ominous. Chapter 2. The Founding of Eldersong. It was Jorunda Ironbind, a war leader of great ambition, who first challenged the mountain's dominion. Standing upon the cliffside overlooking the sea, he declared that no peak, spirit, or beast would keep him from shaping the land into a home for his clan. Whether born of pride or vision, his proclamation marked the founding of Eldersong. The name was chosen to honor the belief that the wind through the cliffs carried echoes of ancient voices, whispers of ancestors or forgotten gods. The people of Eldersong carved their walls directly from the stone, as though coaxing a settlement out of the mountain itself rather than opposing it. Rooftops of timbered pine rose behind walls of quarried granite. Watch platforms lined the cliffs where fires could be lit to warn distant neighbors of danger. A great longhouse was raised where the Ironbind clan governed and feasted in equal measure. Eldersong soon grew in strength, becoming known for its skilled hunters, its hardy warriors, and its people's steadfast belief that they had tamed a land once feared by all who wandered its borders. But the mountain watched. Chapter 3. The First Signs. Years of peace passed before the first troubling signs emerged. Hunters found scorch marks on trees far above the tree line, marks too large and too clean to be the work of lightning. Shepherds lost entire flocks, with no tracks or predators to blame. Travelers reported hearing a deep rhythmic rumbling at night that was neither thunder nor falling stone. One scout returned from the upper cliffs, pale as death, claiming he had seen a vast, coiled shape among the rocks, its eyes smoldering like dying stars. He died soon after, raving of wings large enough to eclipse the world. The priests of Kine grew uneasy. They declared that something had awakened upon Skuldvarr. They were right. Chapter 4. The Coming of Vormul. The worm revealed itself in the final years of Jorunda's rule. It descended from the clouds with a roar that split the sky and sent avalanches tumbling down the mountain. Its body was immense, its wings wide enough to blot out the sun, and its scales gleamed like black glass. The priests gave it the name Vormul, a name whispered with both fear and hatred in the years that followed. Vormul did not strike at once. For days it circled Elder Song, pausing upon the mountain's shoulder to watch the watchfires below. It seemed to study the settlement, learning the placements of wall and watchtower, the pulse of the people who dwelt beneath it. Rumors spread that many sought leave, others chose to stay. Among those who came were 3 outsiders, a warrior known as Skuldvarr and his 2 companions. They had heard the tale of Vormul's tyranny and travelled to Eldersong intending to end it. They told the people nothing of their past. They were strangers who would become the city's salvation and its sorrow. Chapter 5: The Battle and the Fall. When the dragon finally attacked, it did so with a wrath that reshaped the valley. The sky thundered as Vormul swept down upon the walls, stone shattered under its claws, fire licked the roofs and turned timber to ash. The streets filled with smoke and the cries of those who fought and those who fled. Skuldvarr and his companions met the beast in the heart of the city. The fight that followed is the stuff of legend. Edda the shield-bearer and Thorek Stonefist gave their lives to hold Vormul, while Skuldvarr found a path to the dragon's back. The worm writhed and tore at stone and flesh alike, but in the end Skuldvarr struck a mortal blow. Vormul fell, its body collapsing upon the tall rocks in the city's center, where it lay like a mountain of bone and ash. Skuldvarr survived the battle, but he did so with wounds that would not mend. The city that had watched the fight named him their savior, but the cost was high. Many had perished. Much of Eldersong lay in ruin. In the days after the battle, Skuldvarr walked among the ruins, weak and broken, and blessed the fallen before he too passed away, his last breath taken within sight of the dragon's carcass. To honor the sacrifice of Skuldvarr and his companions, the people gathered their dead and laid them to rest in a carved sanctum within the mountain. They renamed their home Dragonfell. For the day the dragon fell had become the defining memory of the place. Chapter 6: The Sanctum and the Departure. The sanctum where Skuldvarr and his companions were buried was carved into the mountain as a place of remembrance. The people placed weapons, shields, and tokens of kin by the graves and closed the stone doors with rites that lingered in memory. For a brief season, the survivors tried to rebuild. They erected new timbers, tended the wounded, and sought to breathe life back into the place they had once called Elder Song. The wounds ran too deep. The ruined streets could not be fully repaired. The losses of kin and home left many hearts hollow. Some said the mountain had cursed them for daring to stand where it held dominion. Others found the memories too sharp, the smoke and ash too constant a reminder of what had been taken. In time, the survivors chose to leave, scattering across Zanthis to seek new homes. Their descendants now live far from the ruin, bound by blood to those who once called the cliffs their own. Chapter 7: The Fate of the Remains. Vormul's great carcass was left where it had fallen, sprawled across the center of the ruined city, upon the tall rocks that had once been a meeting place and now became a monument. Travelers who pass by Dragonfell still speak of the sight, of ribs and skull bleached with time, of a terrible reminder of the price paid for victory. The Sanctum endured as a place of quiet honor, though over the ages its doors have been broken by weather and by those who came seeking relics. Some say that traces of the battle can still be felt within the mountain, that old songs hum in the stones, and that the memory of Skuldvarr and his companions is held in the bones of the place. Others whisper of darker things, of cultists who sought to steal power from the dead, or of restless spirits who refused quiet. Yet the truth remains that a hero came, that he gave his life for the people, and that they named their city Dragonfell so that his deed would not be forgotten. Conclusion. Dragonfell remains a place of quiet sorrow and enduring memory. Moss swallows the stones of Eldersong's once proud walls. The sea winds howl through broken homes. The watch platforms gaze silently over an empty horizon. Yet there is a strange peace in the ruins, as though the land remembers the people who once defied the mountain and mourns their passing. Those who wander through Dragonfell or dare approach Skuldvarr's Sanctum should do so with reverence, for they walk upon ground shaped by tragedy, courage, and fate. The mountain still stands, untouched by the centuries, watching and waiting. Perhaps one day, new settlers will return, daring to rebuild where legends were forged and destroyed. May this chronicle preserve the memory of Eldersong, its rise, its fall, and the darkness that claimed it, so that the mistakes of the past may never again be repeated. Halvar the Lawkeeper,